Over a year ago, the U.S. Supreme Court issued an unprecedented and ungodly ruling that determined same-sex couples had a constitutional right to marry, a decision that in the courts legalized same-sex marriage throughout the country. While the public's attitude towards homosexual marriage remained unchanged from a year ago, they have changed dramatically over the past 2 decades. Now, just over half of Americans, 55%, say they favor allowing sodomites to marry legally, while 37% remain opposed, according to Pew Research Center's March poll. A decade ago, the balance of opinion was reversed. 55% were opposed, while 35% were in favor. The acceptance of this ungodly marriage between same-sex couples can be traced to some startling facts about the church. According to United States Census Bureau records backed up by denominational reports, every year more than 4,000 churches close their doors compared to just over 1,000 new church starts. There were about 4,500 new churches started between 1990 and 2000, with a 20-year average of nearly 1,000 per year. Every year, 2.7 million church members fall into inactivity. This translates into the understanding that people are leaving the church. From research, it has been found that people are leaving as hurting, as wounded, as victims of some kind of abuse, disillusionment, or just plain neglect. From 1990 to 2000, the combined membership of all Protestant denominations in the USA declined by almost 5 million members, 9.5%, while the U.S. population increased by 24 million, 11%. At the turn of the last century, 1900, there was a ratio of 27 churches per 10,000 people. As compared to the close of this century, or the 2000s, where we have 11 churches per 10,000 people in America. What has happened? Given the declining numbers and closures of churches as compared to new church starts, there should have been over 38,000 new churches commissioned to keep up with the population growth. The United States now ranks third, following China and India, in the number of people who are not professing Christians. In other words, the U.S. is becoming an ever-increasing unreached people group. Half of all churches in the U.S. did not add any new members to their ranks in the last 2 years. As we can see, America is naturally becoming more of an ungodly, heathen nation as more and more people do not attend church. To most, this is not a surprise. But the question is, what is the difference when the godly are in charge versus the heathen? Tune in for God's Original Plan, Part 2, where we will discuss what the Bible says about the family.